Rick, it is time to giddy up. I know it's your favorite time of the year. The Kentucky Derby is upon us, and this is not just any Kentucky Derby. It is Kentucky Derby 150, which makes it special and everything around it. New, really for the first time, will not have massive construction around Churchill Downs for the first time in a few years. They will have their new paddock construction complete. I was out there last week, saw it. It's going to be beautiful. It's not going to be ready yet. I've said, look, there's probably going to be wet paint on opening night, but that's not unheard of. They were still nailing the grandstand together on the first Kentucky Derby. So watch for my story on the first Kentucky Derby. That'll be good. But, the big story here in the news with them, court ruling last week likely sends Bob Baffert, making sure he will not be in this Derby. There is an appeal underway, which I guess if they won, he could be there with Arkansas Derby winner Muth. Do you ever think they'll bury the hatchet or shake hands and make up?
They might bury it. I don't know if they'll bury it in somebody else's shoulder or if they'll bury it altogether. I don't know, Eric. I really don't know. This has gone on. I thought after 2 years it would be over. Obviously, Churchill Downs didn't feel that Bob Baffert was contrite enough, and it's gone on for another year with this lawsuit coming up this year. I don't know whether that will agitate Churchill Downs enough or they'll extend it another year or not. But, we're getting into the weird zone of a guy. I can't remember. I guess there's been college basketball coaches who got 5-year show cause hearings.
Yeah. Or
NBA suspended a player last week for a lifetime ban for gambling. But this is kind of a Dutro had a longer suspension.
Yeah.
But for a guy this prominent in the game to be out of the biggest event in the game is unprecedented.
Well, they need to come to some kind of graceful conclusion, whenever it is, however long, whatever pound of flesh they want. When it comes to an end, they need to find a way to coexist peacefully, because he could win more Kentucky Derbies. He's still getting top horses in there. And I'll remind you, in fact, I told you, I've been in the history books about the Derby 150 coming up. I was at the museum a couple days. I've done all this. There was an owner who actually shot the first president of Churchill Downs, Meriwether Lewis
Clark. We're recommending that.
Shot him in the right shoulder. He only got a 1-year ban. So that's,
Baffert knows this yet.
Look, I don't know if Baffert knows this yet. If his attorneys watch this, then they've got a little ammunition. And if they don't, well, they don't deserve to have the ammunition. How about that? So
both sides want to make it look like they came out as winners, and I don't know how that can happen.
Yeah. Not with the words that have gone back and forth. Although Baffert, for his part, has toned it down. He's withdrawn all of his appeals.
Just took him too long.
Yeah, it just took him way too long to do. You can catch every episode of Overtime on WDRB+.